First of all, I would like to thank you, our speakers that are decided, they are very happy to contribute to this discussion, and we are very much honored to have with us three ideally representatives from three main players on the design innovation in Europe, so the Council, the Parliament, and the Commission. And I am very much honored to welcome Anna Panagopoulou from European Commission, from Directorate European Research Area Innovation. She is the director of this directorate under the DG Research Innovation. Madame Maria Graça Carvalho, who is a very famous and active Parliament member since many programs, framework programs. And we have the pleasure to have also a voice from a council. We have a Fabio Donato, scientific counselor at the Italian permanent representative to the European Union. So welcome to all of you, and thanks again to have decided to contribute to this discussion. We very much appreciate because this is a great opportunity to have a relaxed discussion on the future innovation in Europe. So starting from the title, European Way to Innovation, Challenges and Prospects. If we should take a picture of the Horizon Europe, certainly one of the main phases that appear in this picture is the European Innovation Council, is the third pillar. It's really a big innovation compared to the former framework programs. And that is something that is quite relevant as part of our discussion today, because the third pillar was clearly created to define an environment and an ecosystem that should promote innovation in Europe. You know that we are used to saying that as European, we are a very, very high potential in a creation, a generation of knowledge, also in a high-tech area, but quite often we are not so effective as other global partners to transform such knowledge and innovation. And that is the real challenge that the European Commission already decided to put on the table. And this challenge has been totally endorsed by Council and the Parliament during the preparation of Horizon Europe. Now, we want to start from this situation. So we will say something maybe about European Innovation Council, but before that, just a step back and to look in a much more long-term vision, even beyond what's going on. So I would like to address this now, starting from a very important things that happened recently, and that is connected to the new European innovation agenda that was launched just a few months in July, if I'm not wrong, in any case before the summer break. This is a very important document that has been proposed by the European Commission to define, or at least to sketch what should be a new long-term and strategic approach to innovation. So I would like to start from that document, because this document is quite interesting and I would say passionate to highlight future in terms of innovation. But quite often from the document, we had to pass to the reality. So the first question that I would like to address is to Anna Panagopoulou, as a director of innovation in the GRTD, and to say, well, Anna, can you just give us your feeling and to say the document is there, we know the document, but from the document to the reality, what is the next steps? In which way and what's going on now from the definition of the document to the creation of elements, activity that from the document should become a reality? Thanks.
Thank you, Marco, and good morning to everybody. I'm extremely happy to be with you today, and I promise, Marco, next time, if you invite me, probably physically in Rome. So it's a great pleasure for me to be with you, because this is the moment that we really, from the European Commission side, under the leadership of Commissioner Gabriel, we would like to embrace all of you, member states, stakeholders, regional and national authorities, R&I actors, business, to work together in order to deliver this very ambitious agenda. You said it, you know it, 5 flagships across different areas where they are essential in order to upgrade the innovation ecosystem in Europe, 25 actions, starting from areas related to access to finance up to talents and policy making, a very ambitious agenda with a concrete timeline to deliver those actions. It is very ambitious how we are going to deliver. First of all, I would like to remind all of us that this is a communication that I call it is a corporate communication from the European Commission. It's not something under the responsibility just of DG R&I. It's something that concerns different sectors and different policies. And there I would like to say that we have unified our forces in the European Commission in order to deliver the activities of this communication. And concretely, I would like to say there are some legislative initiatives that are currently taking place and negotiation, in particular on the directive, in order to make a better balance between the incentives of investing through loans or investing through equity. So the Commission put a new directive in place in in spring 2022, and now the co-legislators, they are going to follow the discussions at the negotiation level. So basically, we expect by the end of next year that member states, through this, once the directive is adopted, they will put in place the measures, the legal measures that they ensured in order to make an environment which is more interesting for equity investments on companies. Now, the second issue that I would like to highlight is measures that are related also to this Listing Act. So the Commission is about to put in place a new Listing Act, which gives the possibilities to the owners of the companies to go out to the stock market without losing their say on the company. So the Commission is working on this Listing Act. We expect that it will put it out at the end of the year. But in addition to that, there are many activities that they have started or will be started to be implemented in the context of the Horizon Europe program. Talking about EIC, talking about European innovation ecosystems, we'll try to put in place those activities so that we'll put the funding in the market in order to deliver, for example, the issue of the regional innovation valleys, an important flagship that is under this new communication, where we aim to bring regions to work together on concrete projects on key technologies. And there the Commission aims to launch calls under Horizon Europe program at the end of 2023, beginning 2024, and also to attract the interest through co-fund schemes from regions to co-financing the development of these regional innovation valleys. We have put in place already, together with the communication, the new guidelines on synergies between Horizon Europe and structural funds. This is a very concrete and important document which alleviate, I hope, any incoherencies and misunderstandings about these synergies could be happening in practice. And we are happy to help the regions very much in order to consider how they can complement funding coming from Horizon Europe. And in particular, these regional innovation valleys is an area where this can happen. We have already adopted last week a new guidelines for state aid rules for research, development, and innovation activities. One of the activities, how the member states could provide state aid to experimentation facilities, which is very much linked to one of the flagships of the innovation communication. Our colleagues in DG AC, they are working very hard to put in place this new deep tech talents initiative. And I can say, go on and on and on, but we are working very hard from the Commission. Nevertheless, I would like to say this is not enough. We want you to join these initiatives. We want you and the stakeholders to complement what we have put in the communication and to come up with bottom-up initiatives from your side that will complement the activities of the communication. In order to do that, we are already working with the Coalition of Willingness, a group of stakeholders, that are ready and really willing to contribute to the implementation of the communication, but also with the university alliances that, as you know, universities could play a very important role on delivering this innovation agenda. But we like also to work through reinforced outreach events in the member states with all member states and see how they would like to contribute by activities at member states and regional level and to complement what we're putting in the agenda. So overall, a lot of work ahead of us, very ambitious agenda, looking forward to work with member states and the different stakeholders, and the framework that we have established already and we are going to use for exchanges of information and monitoring the implementation of the communication is also the EIC Forum, the forum that has been established on the context of the Horizon Europe legislation, where we would like really to have an inclusive approach and to monitor and work together for delivering this communication.
Thank you a lot, Anna. A lot of things already in the pipeline in a very short times compared to the recent publication of the communication. Thanks a lot. And as APRE, clearly we will take very much seriously your invitation to be part of these games, because we have in our mission to be a sort of element of a big chains and a transmission chains. So all our commitment to support, in any case, the Commission activity in promoting everything is behind the implementation of this communication. Now, remaining in this ice-breaking part, or the first part of the session, I would like to pass to the other two speakers. Let's say we start from Graça, Fabio, simply because we start from Madam first. Graça, but this is the same for Fabio. Anna clearly already gave a big picture of how to pass from the words to the fact. Now, to you, as a representative of the Parliament and of the Council, you are in a different role. You are not in the pipeline of implementation, but you have an important political role in monitoring what's going on. So can you just give your feeling about the communication? I'm referring to the innovation agenda.
Good morning to all. Very thanks to Marco and to APRE for the very kind innovation. And like Anna, I would like in very near future to join you in a meeting in Rome. It's always a pleasure to be in your conference. I have been in the past, and also very nice to be in Rome. I have been one of the MEPs, or probably the one that most speak out before requesting and asking and supporting Commissioner Maria Gabriel to have a European innovation communication that would complement the European research area. You know, the European research area that is in the treaty is a very important piece for our research and science policy. I like the communication. I have discussed a lot, have hosted many events in the preparation of this communication with stakeholders. And I am quite happy with the outcome of the communication that is very complete with the 5 pillars of the communication, not forgetting anything. And we are very much in need of a communication like this that sets the line, as it's our most important or most fragile point. We are very good in Europe in fundamental research. We have fantastic results. We could see even recently some of the Nobel Prizes have ERC grants. During the pandemic, the solution for the vaccines came in 2 of them, actually. The knowledge was generated, supported by European research and framework programs for many years. But what happens is when these researchers want to grow up to put their knowledge into business and to grow this business, most of the time they need to go outside Europe. So we don't have conditions to make value out of our investment in fundamental research. And this is a pity. It's not the fault of the research ministers of DG Research, because that could be easier to fix. This is a very horizontal problem that touch a lot of areas, like Anna said, but is also, I would compliment, it's a lot of responsibility of the member states, because most of things that need to be fixed are in the hands of the member states and on the regions. So it's because of that it has been taking so long to fix this problem of innovation. But we need to do it if we want to have economic growth. We really need to rely on our knowledge, and we are doing fantastic work on deep tech. And if we do not act on the conditions for innovation, these deep tech results will go to help to grow economies outside the EU. I have a very good example of all of this. That is my own country, Portugal. I think that the situation in Italy is probably in some ways similar. We have fantastic students, fantastic researchers, but we have a lot of them, especially when they want to go to the business sector, to the private sector, they go outside Portugal. And we have done, as far as I can say, for the last 25 years, the right things in research and innovation, because we have very good results. But after what we call the ecosystem for innovation, that is very well explained in the communication, that depends on a lot of things: the bureaucracy, an agile administration, a justice system that works and is agile. And that's, for example, a big problem in Portugal. Things take 10 years, 12 years to solve in the justice system. So how can we invest if there is something to solve? The people will try to go to invest somewhere else where they have better conditions, they are more protected, for example, in the justice system. So lack of innovation, of funding for the growing of and it's not because there is lack of funding, it's lack of trust. So all this makes that as we don't have the right conditions, we also have a lack of trust in investing in Europe. And it's something that we need to change. And this is in the hands of prime minister, financial minister, justice ministers, labor ministers, and not only on research minister or Commissioner Maria Gabriel or the GRPD. I think that as far as research and education, we are doing very well. It's everything that is around. It's this ecosystem that we really need to change in Europe, that is urgent, that member states and some portfolios inside the European Commission realize that we have very short time to change, to be competitive. Otherwise, our economy is going to suffer. We are suffering already we suffer a lot with the pandemic. We suffer now with the war, but we need to create the conditions that we start growing again, that we start with a very strong industrial production based on these new emerging technologies. But for that, we really need to give the conditions for this business to grow and not to go outside. And knowledge and talent is very mobile. If they don't have the conditions, then it's not a question of salaries only. If the conditions to work are not there, they go somewhere because they want to do their careers, they want to feel happy, and they will not stay in Europe. So situation is a little bit different from country to country, but in most of member states, the situation is that. So it's very important that we flag to everyone, member states, regions, that it's important to do the innovation ecosystem right. Thank you.
Thank you, Graça. A very crystal clear message. I would like to say a strong political statement. You address the ball on the fields of member states, because member states, as you say, have an important role for the real implementation of all this. It's not only a Brussels exercise, and will never succeed if this will remain at Brussels level. So, Fabio, you're entering in rush, because member states, you are representative of one member state on 27. Clearly, we don't want that you speak in terms of the Council, but your feelings to answer what was from Anna and from Graça.
Marco, first of all, many thanks for your kind invitation, and good morning, everybody. It was a real pleasure to listen to Anna and Gracia's intervention. You know what's the role of a permanent representation at EU Council. We are the ones who are going to prepare the Council of Ministers. So it's the technical side of a negotiation. And I can tell you that Italy has always been very strong advocating the innovation agenda and the innovation area. It's very clear that Europe is doing very well in turning money into research. We have a scientific leadership globally in many areas, and we are very efficient. Our European system of research is very effective and very successful. We are less effective and less successful in turning back money, turning back research, the results of research into money, which means to take the results of the research, to bring them into innovation, to bring them into the market. And that's why Italy was so supportive during the Horizon Europe negotiation for the third pillar, which is the pillar on innovation, and we strongly supported the setup of the European Innovation Council, the area on innovation ecosystem, and a stronger link and synergies with European Institute of Innovation and Technology. Now, we are very happy about the Commission communication on the European Innovation Agenda. We are very happy because the communication focus on the weakest area which we are going to face, which is the deep tech area. We agree with the Commission that Europe should improve in that field. We should better on that. And as Anna was saying, the implementation timeline is potentially very effective. So fully aligned with the communication from the Commission, which, as Anna was saying, is a corporate communication, so with a broad view. Now, as you, Marco, may know, at Council, we are discussing a Council conclusion on the European Innovation Agenda. So moving from the Commission communication, building on the Commission communication in order to give a political address from a member state to the issue. And I can tell you that at Council, we are very much pushing for emphasizing the role of deep tech, while having a broader approach, an holistic approach, which takes into account all kinds of innovation. Indeed, we are lagging behind at global level on deep tech innovation, but we have a clear leadership on other areas of innovation. Just to give you a couple of examples, in the field of social innovation, in the field of cultural and creative innovation, in the field of bioeconomy. I could make many examples. So we should be very careful. On the one hand, we should focus on deep tech, because it's very clear that the future goes in that direction. And if a member state is not going to invest in deep tech innovation, that is a dead member state walking. So the future is over there. But we shouldn't forget our position of leadership and should feed into that. So at Council, we are working for this broader approach, this holistic view, which brings together all kinds of innovation, and even more, which consider deep tech innovation as a cross-sectoral infrastructure for innovation in all the sectors. Now, the Council conclusion, hopefully, are going to be discussed from the European Minister of Research at the Combat Council, the Competitiveness Council, which will be held on 2nd December. I would like also to emphasize the institutional cooperation with the European Parliament. The role of the European Parliament is key. The relationship between Council and European Parliament is critical. On many areas, we are co-legislators, and so it's very important, not only the role of the European Parliament, but also our institutional capacity of fruitful cooperation. Let me conclude, since you asked us to elaborate on the future as well, on the issue of the evolution of the European research area. Now, as you know it, there is a discussion about a European innovation area. Our position was very clear. We wish to go for an European research and innovation area. We think it's key to bring together and to keep together research and innovation. So from our point of view, that should be the way forward, bringing together research and innovation, and setting up step by step an European research and innovation area, because the real added value comes from the capacity to transform the results of research into innovation. The real added value is there, and that's why research and innovation should be kept together.
Thank you a lot, Fabio. Also from your side, a clear message. Interesting message to be elaborated in the future, because it's still an open discussion how the new innovation area should take shape. So quite relevant. So coming back now to in the middle of the what is the present and what should be the future. One consideration when I start to think about this session was, first of all, don't forget that, at least for our interest, behind this conference, there was a couple of keywords. One was complexity. Governing innovation, governing growth in research, innovation, and complexity. Now, the question is the following. When we start to discuss about European Innovation Council, it was almost 5 years ago. And now, almost 5 years, if you put if you consider also the time for the pilot, so are several years already that we start with a new European Innovation Council approach. What we have discovered in these last 2-3 years is that, unfortunately, a lot of problems may happen to modify what was a stable or quasi-stable horizon of our society or our economy or our geopolitical equilibrium. Now we are entering really in a situation quite complex. So non-linearity becomes more relevant than stable linearity governance of the world. Now the question is the following. We are approaching next year the we are approaching the Horizon Europe midterm. The question is to you is an informal question. I don't want an answer that you stick to what your institution or organization is thinking about, but European Innovation Council is enough flexible to follow the evolution that our world is asking to follow now due to all these complex scenarios around us. So what should we expect in the midterm discussion as far as concerned element affecting the European Innovation Council for the next years, not for the current operative question? This is not discussion today. Please, I would like to start from, let's say, we use the same rank, the same order. Anna, would you like to start? Just your informal answer to this question. Don't be.
Yes, thank you very much. Very interesting question, and you will have my informal answer. Formal, of course. So first of all, I think all around the table, you remember when the Commission came up with the idea of the European Innovation Council. And here I would like to share my gratitude with both the Parliament and the Council, because without the institutions, it would have never been possible to have this new instrument in Horizon Europe program. And we started with the pilot. Already the pilot demonstrated that there is a lot of potential and a high need to have such an instrument. And that's why we maximize with the 10 billion envelope, the EIC under Horizon Europe. The world changed indeed. We had the pandemic, we had the war in Europe that we never expected, with the consequences about European sovereignty, European technological leadership, and the need of raw material and the need of having access to energy with a more secure, sustainable way, and for food security as well. Is the vision of EIC still valid? I think yes. In a way, the EIC has anticipated, not all this, but has anticipated that there is a need to act in an area where EU has a strong weakness. And that was really the area of scaling up and deep tech. And Fabio said very well that although we have to push the deep tech, Europe is already a technological leader in other innovative areas, but the deep tech technologies and scaling up our companies in Europe and keeping our companies in Europe was a big challenge. So in this context, what has been put already in place as vision in the EIC is still valid, and it's even more than before necessary in order to keep the key and critical developments of technologies in Europe and to have the ownership of these technologies and less dependent from other countries. In this context, I think the EIC, as it's implemented now, complements the new European innovation agenda in a strong way. And of course, in the midterm review, we have to see whether we have not to change the vision as such, because it's still very valid, but if necessary, to adapt the instrument in the way it's going to implement in the rest of the Horizon Europe program, and then, of course, to start thinking for the next framework period. Now, what we have done already in the EIC in order to address the challenges that we have. As you know, EIC is very much bottom-up. So we receive ideas, n'importe quoi the area is, and we finance the excellence of the proposal. But we have also the challenges. And the challenges are thematic envelopes in the context of the EIC, in all instruments of the EIC, to target specific areas that we think that are strategically important. And we have started to do that from the previous programs, and in particular in the program of EIC 2023 that they're under still preparation and discussion. We have addressed Green Deal, energy security issues, the CHIPS Act case, the health issues, the food security. So the areas that they are very critical are becoming even more critical under the current circumstances. So to conclude, the vision is still valid. It really is well embedded in the new vision that we have established with the European Innovation Agenda. We will have to see how we will have to adapt the instrument if necessary in the middle of the program. But I think the results that we have seen about helping companies through EIC to become unicorns is the proof that this is what we need. This is what we needed before. This is what we still need today. And there is, of course, the opportunity to adapt to address further the current and future challenges.
Clear. So something that sounds good today, but is already prepared to face the complexity of tomorrow. In that sense, your conservative message is quite clear. Graça, the same to you. According to your feelings, or let's say Parliament approach, what kind of discussion we should expect at the corner of the next midterm discussion as far as concerned the European Innovation Council? What should be for you the main elements or to be discussed around the table for the future, for the remaining part of the current Horizon Europe and maybe beyond, for starting the discussion for the new framework program?
Thank you very much. This is an essential question because starting from there, when we start the preparation of Horizon Europe, I was in the cabinet of Commissioner Modera, and the main line was to keep everything that was working very well in Horizon 2020 and to improve the parts that were more confused or less clear. And there was the idea that on the innovation side, we had many instruments, the SME instrument, the flagships. And there was nothing for breakthroughs, for disruptive innovation, more bottom-up, in certain way, an idea to have an ERC for innovation. So the decision was, let's do first a pilot, and after in Horizon Europe, a stable instrument for disruptive innovation that can go very fast, that is for risky projects, for deep tech, and it's something that we need, and it's something that we still need now, and is we will need in the future. So I was very enthusiastic with the idea. Commissioner Modera was pushing that, and it was a pilot phase. What happened in reality, and this still is happening now, and is the reason we in the European Parliament have been quite critical on the implementation of the EIC. There is a report of my colleague Christian Eller, very critical to how EIC is going. The financial regulation of the Union, and even the staff regulation, and probably I'm in a better position to say that than the other members of the panel, as I have been in Council, in Commission, and in Parliament, are not appropriate to run a program that is so risky and in a fast-tracked way. So, in certain way, if we want a successful EIC, probably we should always we should also look at certain parts of the financial regulation and even all the staff regulation, because we cannot attribute responsibility to something of these projects fail, because it's the nature. Some of them may fail because we are risking, and if they fail in the first part, doesn't mean that some years later we have not gained out of the knowledge that was developed, even if the main objective of the project has failed. So we need this instrument, but this instrument needs to be applied in a way, in a concrete measures, in a better way that is now. So at the moment, we have problems in the implementation of the EIC. We should have a much faster decision on the projects. We must be able to approve projects that are risky and apply them in a much faster way than this is happening now. So in a certain way, the rules, the administrative procedures should also adapt to this idea of having an instrument for risk, fast track innovation. And in my opinion, we don't have these administrative and financial rules. So I know DG Budget will be conservative related to this project, like it is, and it is probably a task and very well. So it's for them difficult to be in line with very risky projects. So it's, the problem here is to find a solution to put these two worlds, the financial and the budget culture of the Commission, together with funding risky fast-track projects.
Clear message again, and let's say the problem, we know about the problems, but we are also to say that there was a lot of efforts from Commission side to solve these problems. And what I really appreciate from your statement is that you stress the idea that in any case, this new adventure was a new for everybody, including Commission, and maybe it was probably too big or too complex to manage, because at the end is a real complex exercise. But I'm sure that now, with the thanks to the Parliament, also to all of us has followed very with attention, words by words, the discussion between Commission and Parliament. But I want to see that in a positive way. That was a self-stimulus in doing better, and I'm sure that now there is a very strong commitment from Commission to solve everything. And what is relevant is what you say. Probably it's not only a problem of Commission, it's a problem of systemic approach. Also, Parliament and Council should create the formal and administrative background that would be the Commission, or would put the Commission in a comfortable and a very effective operative way. So I think this is a game that should keep together all the three institutions. And now pass to Fabio. Fabio, again, you can step back from the discussion about implementation, or you can have a more dreaming, whatever you like, but we are approaching the midterm now. What is your received for correction or non-correction to AC discussion for the future?
Listen, Marco. It's clear that we are facing some problems in the sphere of implementation. I was there. I was the one who negotiated at the technical level Horizon Europe, and you know that the problem of implementation comes out from the different interpretation of indirect management, either from a formal point of view or from a substantive point of view. I can tell you that during the negotiation for us, indirect management was indirect management. So we didn't have any problem on that. But this is the scenario we are facing. I can tell you that Italy is strongly appreciates what the Commission is doing, especially what Anna, as director in charge, is doing to recover and to speed up the process. We already see better results in terms of shortening the time to grant, and we welcome the transitional period, which is going to lead to the permanent model in some months ahead. So from our point of view, we should go in this direction. We are on the right track. The Commission is doing indeed its best and doing well in giving stability, shortening time to grant, and following the legal basis. Let me remind you that it was Italy, together with other member states, to introduce the grants-only scheme, together with the possibility to move from grants-only to equity-only. And so this is the overall concept, and we think that the concept, the EAC concept, is still valid. Now, looking ahead, I agree with you, Marco. We are in a period of huge change, not big change, huge change. And this calls for flexibility. Now, we can have a flexibility if our innovation system, if our European innovation system is a resilient system. And to have, in order to have a resilient system, we should strengthen the European innovation ecosystem. So I believe that in the forthcoming discussion, this issue will be key. EAC concept is still valid. We fully believe in it. EAC is mainly devoted to innovators, so individually. Now we should have a stronger approach on ecosystem as well. Again, during the Horizon Europe negotiation, you might remember that the innovation ecosystem section was not there. Again, it was a proposal from Italy, supported by many member states, then endorsed by the Commission, and accepted and supported from the European Parliament as well. But today, the focus on innovation is mainly on innovators and much less on ecosystem. I think this is going to be a key debate in the next months in preparation of the interim evaluation and then the new framework program. Flexibility calls for resilience, and the resilience calls for stronger ecosystems.
Already you highlight what should be.
We lost Marco. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Anna.
No, I just wanted to react because, of course, I didn't say anything about the situation with the EAC fund. I thought it was not the purpose of this discussion. But first of all, I would like to say that I would like to thank very much both the European Parliament and the Council in these difficult days that we had. And although indeed the report of the Parliament is critical, it's not only focused on the EAC fund per se, it's focused on the whole implementation of the EAC. And I think it's important that we have these critical views in order to be able to to improve and to address them in the most appropriate way. Concerning the fund itself and the whole situation that happened over the last year, I have to say that we have been working very closely, not only ourselves with the Central Commission services and with the EIB to identify the ways that we go towards a long-term solution, but together also with the agency. And this improvement of the kind grant is not just an effort from the Commission, but in general from the Commission services. And I would like to express here my gratitude for the colleagues to the agency, that they did their best in order to advance with the time to grant. It was not easy at the beginning, and the reason was not just the situation of the EAC fund, it was also some issues that we have with technical problems, etc. But nowadays, I can reassure you, in the last cutoff, the time to grant has reduced substantially, and this is very important. And with the new interim solution that we have on the EAC fund, we have started to have an agreement on deals that have been pending for the equity part, around 7 to 10 per week. So we are really doing our best to go ahead in the best possible way. But I believe the future of the EAC, as expressed also by Fabio, but also by Graça, is not just only about the fund and how we implement the fund. It goes beyond that. And it was challenging to put in place such an instrument in such a short time, because I think it was a very short time. And we are standing ready to follow up the discussions with the Council and the Parliament on how we can make this instrument better, delivering the expected results. And here I would like to highlight that the risks that have been expected that we take with this instrument towards companies and technologies, they will remain and they're already there in the transition phase and in the long-term solution that we're going to put in place. And actually, this is why this instrument was there. And the last reaction about European innovation ecosystem, I was not in the negotiations, but I certainly believe that with this new communication on universities and on the focus that we put on the ecosystems, that probably indeed that will be something that merits a lot of discussion in the context of the midterm review of the program and preparation of the next framework program.
Thanks a lot, Anna. I'm sorry if we just jump a little in the operative part, but it was too much complicated. But I fully support your words, and as I told before, as APRE, as NCP, we are a daily evidence of all the efforts that Commission is doing to not to solve, I don't want to say to step forward in an even more efficient way to manage the current EC. So that is no problem. So unfortunately, the time is running. I have the situation. I would like to ask you, let me say that if you will promise me just 30 seconds of your feedback, I would like to address just a short question to all of you, starting from you, Anna. Seamless. Now he's represented by the three tools, the accelerator and transition pathfinder. Is the seamless chain still valid? Should we add any other things in the future, or it works as a concept?
Okay, very quickly, I would like to say that during the implementation of the pilot, we have seen indeed that there was a gap between Pathfinder, which was the former Future and Emerging Technologies program, and the Accelerator, which was the former SME program. So Pathfinder projects demonstrated the potential of new technologies in a laboratory environment, but there was the problem of a technology transfer gap to turn this potential into a viable business plan with technologies, and that has been tested in the real world. And this is why we put the new instrument of the EIC transition scheme in 2021 to bridge this gap between the technology, the gap of the technology transfer, and to take ideas from Pathfinder to a stage where they can be communicated, commercialized through the accelerator. So, in other words, to ensure this seamless approach, we have put in place the new transition instrument. And I have to say that what we have seen already from the calls of the transition, it is very promising. And we believe that with the three instruments that we have now, we have this seamless approach from basic research up to deep tech technologies and the commercialization. I hope it was quick.
Yeah, you was quick. Thanks a lot, Anna. The same 30 seconds for you, Graça. Small and medium enterprise. We are not speaking about AC. We are speaking about innovation. The question is quite simple. Is Horizon Europe a place where small and medium enterprise may or should find support to their innovation? I'm not referring to the EC in particular. I'm referring to the whole Horizon Europe.
When we compare to Horizon 2020, I have the feeling, but let's wait for the data on the midterm evaluation, that Horizon Europe was more friendly to the traditional SMEs than Horizon Europe. So in certain way, I think that for example, in EIC, we should have a space where the SME, the more traditional SME, like it was already mentioned on cultural heritage in many other areas, textiles, and so would have a place for their research, even if it's not a disruptive research, but is a very important research. Also, the 20% target that we have in Horizon 2020, we will see in the midterm evaluation that if Horizon Europe is achieving the same level of SME participation that is so important for the European economy. So it's something to pay a lot of attention in the midterm evaluation.
Thanks a lot. This is exactly the message that I would like to get from you. Fabio, your last 30 seconds is to you. Innovation. You know that we have several adjectives close to the word innovation. What is your feelings? As far as concerned the framework programs, innovation should be what?
Listen, Marco, first of all, let me join Madame Carvalho. We also believe that the grant-only part of the EAC should pay more attention on traditional SMEs. Then, as for the innovation of future, I think we should keep on focusing on all kinds of innovation, while taking into account what are the area we should improve. But most of all, let me tell you that I think we should consider EAC not such as the let's say only place or the main place for innovation, but we should build, starting and building on EAC a much broader system. So we should be able to move from let's say one single tool to a much more holistic approach, which brings together many different tools with different aims. So from my point of view, that's the needed step forward, together with a stronger attention on innovation ecosystems.
Thank you a lot. Personally, I fully agree, but doesn't matter what I think in this, that. I had to stop because unfortunately the virtual event has to stick to the times much more than probably the physical one. I want to thank you, all of you, Hannah, Graça, and Fabio, for this your incredibly interesting discussion. I welcome you in Rome already for the next year. Will be our care to create something to have a similar discussion in physical next year. And I hope you will be able, and not too much occupied in other things, but it's very difficult to find you non-occupied during your professional lives. Thanks a lot, and again, thanks to have contributed to the conference of this year's of APRE. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.